Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I'm here to talk to you about my best books of 2016. So last year I read 32 books, I think, including audiobooks, and I really enjoyed them, most of them. I did read a lot of books in the beginning of the year for classes. That being said, I think in this last month I did read some really good books, or I listened to some good books. And sorry, I was just playing with this. So I really want to talk to you about those books. First I want to give some honorable mentions to two graphic novels I read this year about like bad situations in countries which are still relevant. So the first one is Persepolis by Marian Satrapi. I'm butchering her name right now, which I shouldn't, but yeah, this book, which you probably know about, it's the story of this author in Iran, and it's really interesting. And on the same level, I really want to just say that I really enjoyed reading novels. It was one of my favorite books of this year, but it was really insightful, and I really enjoyed reading it, even if it's so sad and depressing. Another honorable mention that I want to give is to Scrappy Little Nobody by Anna Kendrick, which is read by her, and I enjoyed this book so much. It was one of my last reads of the year, and it was sincerely hilarious. I enjoy listening to her so much. It's awesome, and I really enjoy listening to her telling me her story. And this is the only kind of audiobooks I can deal with, which are like memoirs or read by the author. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I will start from with my top 6 best books of 2016, and in number 6 I have Everything by Nicola Yoon. I read this book a few months ago and I really enjoyed it. It's so adorable, and I really enjoyed it as a contemporary YA, but then people who've read it know what I'm talking about. It just changes it to such a deep thing, which I kind of already felt like it was in the beginning, but it's really insightful, and not insightful, but it's really moving, and it touches you. It touched me. So I really enjoyed this book. I gave it 4 or 5 stars, I believe, but I really enjoyed it, and the cover is beautiful. So yeah. In 5th place, a book I read during the booktubeathon this summer was We Were Liars by E. Lockhart, and this book blew me away. Like, I hate every single character in it, and I still enjoyed reading this book so much. And it just, every time you thought you knew the story, you're like, oh, I know the plot twist now. You didn't. And it's really cool, and it's a really well-crafted book and interesting and CYA, but in a respectable way that you can show everyone, like, read this book. YA is not like bad books. YA is good books. I don't even know if I'm like talking proper English right now. I really enjoyed this book. There's nothing else I can say. I don't want to spoil it. If you haven't read it, read it. And I liked it a lot, which it was surprising. I didn't thought I would. In 4th place, it's Yes Please by Amy Poehler. I listened to the audiobook, which I since took away from my phone because I changed phones, because this phone that I'd show you, it's new. So Yes Please was incredible. I developed this crush on Amy Poehler since listening to it. I developed an interest for SNL, which I had, but not so much, like to the point where I would watch several videos in a row. And her rap with Sarah Palin, it's just precious. I was really into her audiobook. She's great. I also really like how she stands her ground, and she said things not to be like a feminist book, but she clearly is, and I love that. She talks about these feminist issues while she's talking about her life and what she learned during her life, and it's really cool about that part. And also her life is just really interesting, and I really like how insightful she was and how told us a lot of memories, but as well as trying to like give us a lesson. It was really interesting. I really enjoyed it. I really wish I could watch see the pictures, but I didn't buy the physical version because it's quite expensive, and I really just enjoy listening to these memoirs, as I told you. So yeah, I listened to the other book and I have no regrets. I loved it, and it was my 4th favorite book of the year. In 3rd place, we have a YA book by one of my favorite authors. By now, I know she's one of my favorite authors. And the author is Sophie Kinsella, and the book I'm talking about is Finding Audrey. Now, this is too bright for you to see. Okay. My 3rd most favorite... Okay. I tried. My 3rd favorite book of the year was Finding Audrey by Sophie Kinsella. Audrey is a girl with deep anxieties and social anxiety. I am not the most appropriate person to talk about this. I'm not that informed because my kind of anxiety is nowhere near her level. So yeah, it's the way I read a lot of critics about this book, and what I think is that this book is not trying to portray the entire situation, not saying that the boy was her solution. It was just something that she needed to be invested in to get out of this. To be like the last step for her to come out of her room and house and shell. So basically, she has been having problems. She had a few problems about bullying, and so she has this very severe case of anxiety, and she's been going to the therapist and she's on treatment and everything, and she's been trying to get better, and then this boy appears and they make this very interesting bond, and I really like how he deals with her. That's my favorite part of it, like how well he treats her. Besides that, I just think it treated the topic with such sensibility, and people will say that this doesn't, but I think it does. A lot of people said it didn't, or was trying to sell books by talking about anxiety, which I didn't think so. I really enjoy this book. I really love Sophie Kinsella. I think she's one of my favorite authors by now. And yeah, I give it 5 out of 5 stars. And I'm trying to purchase the physical edition. Okay, so the light is going away, so I have to be quick. And my memory got full, so I had to move it to my computer. So I'm gonna try and be quick. But my last 2 books are... incredibly predictable. So the first one, in second place, I have a classic that I love, of an author that I love, and you probably can guess what it is, which author it is, but if you can't, I'm gonna tell you. Anyway, it's Jane Austen, and this year I read Emma by her, which I haven't read yet, and I loved it. It's her biggest novel, and some people say it's her most perfected one. I still love Pride and Prejudice a lot, too much, but this is beautiful. This is beautifully written. It's very witty. If you know the story already, I don't mind watching the story before reading it, so I do enjoy it a lot. This is so well written. It's so beautiful to read. I love the social commentary. I love the social critique, the jokes, the beautiful moments where Knightley says what we all know by now to Emma, and it's just great. Emma is such a mess, though. Emma is like really weird and messy. She's not my favorite protagonist of Jane Austen. Still, it's very enjoyable to read about her and about them and about this village that goes around them. Her father is so annoying. But yeah, I adore Jane Austen, and so this had to be on my top 3. So second place goes to Emma by Jane Austen, which is no surprise to any of us if you know me. And the last book in my top 5 is no surprise either, because I've already read the second installment of this series, and I really want to read this month the third one, which I already own. And that is The Lost Hero, the first book in the Heroes of Olympus series by Rick Riordan. The light is really going away, so I'm trying to be quick, but yeah. This is the first installment in this new series with Percy Jackson, but also with the new heroes. So we have Jason, oh god, guys, I'm so bad at memorizing names, but we have new characters from whose perspective, and we read from them, from their perspective. So it's not just Percy, we read from all all of them, from the perspective of all of them. So here we have new characters. We have Jason, Piper, and Leo. Yeah, so Jason, Piper, and Leo are new characters, and we only get their perspective here. And basically the plot, you probably know, but Jason wakes up kind of in Percy's place, and he doesn't know where he is, and why he's there, and why is he wearing a purple shirt instead of an orange one. And it's really interesting, and I really enjoy the plot, and it's really well constructed, and the series just takes off from here, and it's really exciting and interesting, and I just love how you find out new stuff every step of the way, but not too messy so you get confused or something like that. I just really enjoy the Roman versus Greek mythology component. I always was more in favor of the Greek part, so I have no complaints here. So yeah, but this is great. I love Leo, by the way. I've read the second one, so I can tell you a lot about that, but I won't, because I don't want to spoil, and also do not want to say wrong things, because I get them mixed up in my brain. I'm very bad at keeping up with too many characters. So yeah, this is my favorite book of the year, because it just got me so interested in this series, and I cannot put it down, and they are gigantic, and I read this in 3 days, or 2 days. I read this in 2 days, and it's so cool, and I love his writing. Previously I had read Rick Riordan, but translated to Brazilian Portuguese, and this is so much better, and it's middle grade, so it's really, I mean, this is more YA than middle grade. The other series, Percy Jackson and the Olympians, it's middle grade. This one is it's more YA. It's just so cool and so interesting, and I love them. And by the way, finally, I'm gonna start reading Mark of Athena now, and finally Annabeth is here. Yes, I love her. So yeah, that being said, this was really cool. I have a review on Goodreads if you want to check it out. I also talked about it in my Booktubeathon wrap-up, which I will link or something. But yeah, I really love this book, and I cannot wait to read the entire series so I can like talk here about it, and I'm just really excited about it. Yeah. Those were my favorite books of the year. What were your favorite books of 2016? I really want to know, so, you know, reading suggestions and everything, even though I cannot buy too many books, as you know. That being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. You can give it a thumbs up or subscribe. All my media links are in the description bar below, and I promise I will see you soon with another video. Goodbye!